Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. I'm here today to talk to you about my most anticipated book releases of 2023. I know we are like almost 2 weeks in, but I'm still very excited about all of these books because some of them or most of them are from authors I've read and really enjoyed the books of. Some I've even loved to no end, as you will see from the first book on this list. But there are some others who I really want to try reading. I just want to get started on the bibliography, and I haven't been able to so far. But all of these books I'm looking forward to, and I don't know if I will be able to read them as soon as they come out, because here in Australia book releases are a bit of a touchy subject. So without any further ado, let's dive right into this video and let me share with you all the books that are releasing in 2023 that I am super excited for. First up is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. This is a sort of a discourse on how Asian people are treated in the publishing industry. This is a story of a white woman and an Asian woman, both of whom are on the ladder to success. But the Asian woman is a tad bit more successful, if I'm not mistaken, and she ends up dying. But she has an unfinished manuscript which the white woman sort of takes over and puts it forward as her own. So this is the whole discourse that's coming out of this book, and Yellowface is something that I'm super excited to read. I'm yet to read two of her other books, The Burning God and Babel, as of the time of filming this, but I'm hoping against hope by the time it releases in May, I will be done with those two books. Next is Dust Child by Nguyen Phan Ke Mai. I just hope I've pronounced her name right. But this is releasing in March, and fortunately I am on the book tour for this. This follows the children of Vietnamese women and American soldiers, if I'm not mistaken, and all of this that happens during the Vietnam War, and how the children are left behind, or they are not given the same treatment as other children in Vietnamese as well as American society, so they are stuck in limbo. This is what they are called. They are called dust children, and that's why the title, hence the title of the name. But I'm really looking forward to reading this book. The author's The Mountains Sing was one of the most hard-hitting books, one of the most beautiful books I read in 2022. It's going to stay with me for a long time. Because of that, I've become a huge fan of this author, and she's always so kind also. The kindness that she shows in real life trickles down into her books, because the way she treats her characters is so kind, so compassionate. Okay, listen, third on this list is the fifth and final volume of Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, which is releasing in, is it March or is it March? No, February. February. Just 3 weeks more. Okay, fine. Don't panic. But the last time I checked, it was February 2nd. I don't know if it has changed, but I don't know what else to say. Like, I've gushed over Heartstopper, I've watched the series, I've done it all in a video that I did last year, in which I reread the first 4 volumes of Heartstopper and I watched the series. If you'd like to go check that video out, I'll leave the link here as well as in the description box below. But I can't come to terms with the fact that the 5th volume of Heartstopper is going to be the final volume in the series, and it just breaks my heart, but it also fills me with warmth because it exists in the world. Next is In the Lives of Puppets by T.J. Klune. You know how much I love T.J. Klune's writing. It's always so warm, and I want to say happy, but I also don't want to say just happy, but his books are happy and full hopeful. This is one that is a combination of, it's a retelling of Pinocchio and Swiss Family Robinson. I think that's what it is. And I can't wait to see what T.J. Klune has done with this, because his treatment of his characters are are just phenomenal. TJ Klune's writing has always gripped me. It has always endeared itself to me in the way that he treats the story, the plot, the characters and everything. And this isn't going to be any different, it feels like to me. Next is Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo, and I really want the audiobook for this, because I know that it's going to be fabulous, and especially if Elizabeth Acevedo is narrating it, it's going to be even better. But this is a story of, it's a generational story of Fleur, who can foresee death. And when she foresees her own death, she has a living wake for herself. But she doesn't tell her sisters about it. While this one generation is keeping secrets of their own, the younger generation, which is Fleur's nieces and that generation, is battling problems of their own. Now, how will this whole family, sisters, cousins, aunts, nieces, how will this whole family come to terms with whatever is coming their way, forms this entire story. And you know me, I'm a huge Elizabeth Acevedo fan, and I've read her first 3 books and fallen in love with her writing. The Poetics, With the Fire on High, Clap When You Land, some of my favorite books of all time. This sounds so intense. This sounds like she has taken so much time to explore these characters, to explore the threads that link these characters, the family bonds and the truths of their own lives, and about death and about life in general. I know how Elizabeth Acevedo is going to treat them, how she's going to treat this story, because she's nothing less than phenomenal. So I'm super excited to read this. Last time I checked, it was going to release on the 1st of August. Next is Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. It's already out in the world. I think it released on January 3rd, and this is the story of 2 ex-best friends, Bradley and Celine. Bradley has OCD and is pretty much the star of whatever he decides to do. Celine is kind of a social media conspiracy theorist, but these two have had a falling out, or sort of Bradley abandoned Celine for the more popular crowd. So when Celine sort of signs up for a dangerous in the woods kind of course, some sort of course, I don't know the specifics, Bradley also is there, but now they have to work together in order to get through this course. So what will they do? How will they work through it? Will they be able to work through it? Forms this entire story. And first of all, I love Talia Hibbert's romances. They write amazingly well. They take into account different people. The diversity in Talia Hibbert's books is phenomenal, to say the least. The kind of stories that she writes, they are for everybody, these stories. Like, you will find yourself in at least one of their stories. I'm damn sure about that. I'm sure that there will be some level of relatability to Bradley and or Celine as well. This next book, I don't have to do much explaining for about why I'm super excited about it. I'm just going to mention it and leave it there, because the author will explain to you why I'm excited. Okay, so the book is called The Chalice of the Gods, which is the 6th in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan. See, you understand. And Rick Riordan, Uncle Rick, you see, out of excitement, words are not coming out of my mouth, so please understand. Next up is Brick. It's a prequel to The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I don't know many details, because I just realized that it's releasing this year yesterday, I think, when I saw someone post an arc of it. Yeah, Bloomsbury did that. That's called A Day of Fallen Night. I know that the cover is gorgeous. I know that the world building and everything that Samantha Shannon is going to put into this book is going to be super exciting, and we'll see how we came to the point where everything in Priory takes place. But other than that, next is Business or Pleasure by Rachel Lynn Solomon, and I read Rachel Lynn Solomon's Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, and I really liked it. And when I saw that Rachel has a book coming out this year, I was like, instantly, I need to get it. I need to read it. But this is the story of two people who work together, and they have this sort of understanding that it's only going to be business, obviously, but they end up falling for each other, or they end up spending more and more time with each other, basically sleeping with each other. How their relationship progresses, does it get better, does it get worse? I think that's what forms this entire story, which is why the title. So Rachel Lynn Solomon's writing is very fast paced, so I am super excited for this as well. Next is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I am really wary of this because of my mixed experience with Emily Henry's books before. I don't know which way it's going to swing, but it sounds good. Like this, the two main characters, this is a heterosexual romance. The two main characters have broken up, but they haven't had a heart to tell their best friends yet. So it's been 6 months and they haven't told anybody that they've broken up because they don't want to bring drama into the friend group or something of that sort. There is a yearly vacation that they take with their friends, and they're like, okay, we can pretend for this time, it's fine. It would be better than breaking our friends' hearts. So that's what they're thinking. But how do they go about this? They have to share a room, and they have to fight their own feelings for each other, and they have to fight the circumstances. So how are they going to manage this whole thing forms this entire story. And this seems like a second chance romance, and I'm here for it. But like I mentioned before, I'm also wary. I'm not going to put up so many expectations, but I'm also cautiously hopeful and cautiously looking forward to reading this. Does that make any sense though? Next is The Boneshot War, the third in the Drowning Empire series by Andrea Stewart. I haven't read Andrea Stewart yet because I knew that the third and final book in this trilogy was coming, and I wanted to wait for it before I binge read all of them. This seems like a fantasy, I think. I'm not really sure. I don't want to do much research into this book because I've heard so many amazing things that I feel like if I read it and if I think that, oh wow, that's great, and then I go into the book and then I'm disappointed, then that's going to be a different kind of heartbreak. I've seen this in my library a couple of times, and then I was like, okay, no, let the third book come out. Next is House of Roots and Ruin, which is the second in the Sisters of the Salt series by Erin A. Craig. And this is releasing on July 25th, a day after my birthday. But okay, House of Salt and Sorrows, I actually thought that it was going to be a standalone, but apparently not. That book was good. It was creepy. It just brought that horror down on you, that supernatural down on you. I was like, look, ma'am, what are you trying to do to me? But I thought that after everything had gone down in that book, I thought that was the end of it. And this follows the younger of the sisters, Verity, and she's now 17 years old, and it follows one of her older sisters, Camille, and while all of the other sisters are now scattered across the kingdom. So what happens at Highmore now? I think that is what this whole story is about. Next is Imogen, obviously, by Becky Albertalli. This is a story of a girl, Imogen, finding out truths about herself. She is a fierce ally, and she does everything in her power to make sure that her queer friends and her queer social circles feel comfortable. But in this process, when one particular incident happens, she is come to the point where she has to confront the truth about herself, whether she was straight to even begin with. So this whole circle has Imogen discovering her sexuality and her gender identity while keeping in mind everything that she has gone through so far. I don't even have to say anything else because Becky Albertalli writes beautifully about queer people, as we've seen in Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, and that is my biggest reason why I'm super excited for this book. The premise sounds super interesting and it sounds so good, like another story of finding oneself, and we need such stories in the world. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I cannot wait. Next up is Page Boy by Elliot Page. This is a memoir of the actor Elliot Page and his life, and everything that he went through so far, be it in with his gender, be it with love, relationships, his acting career, Hollywood in general, and all of this, how it affected his mental health, and how it has brought him to the point that he is at right now. At least that's what I inferred from the blurb. It's coming in June 6th to be precise, and I'm really looking forward to it. Last but not the least is Independence by Chitra Banerjee Devakaruni. This is a story of a few sisters set around partition and what everything that they go through. And this sounds so interesting, and especially since a few months I've been taking a lot of interest in partition literature, and I always keep my eyes open for such stories. So this is also one of those, and Chitra Banerjee Devakaruni's writing is always so beautiful. I mean, yeah, I feel like The Palace of Illusions was her best, but I feel like the topic that she is talking about in this book, it's going to be a good one. At least I'm being cautiously hopeful, but no promises yet. We just have to see how it goes. So those were my most anticipated book releases of 2023. Which of these books are you looking forward to read? Have you been able to get any arcs of these? Have you been able to read any? What are your most anticipated books of 2023? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.